Howdy everybody. So I'm doing another load, not something very exciting, but something kind of weird looking. So it's 12 feet long, 2.5 feet tall, and 7.5 feet wide. That's it. Tiny little thing that needs to be tarped. And then I go to scale, and here's my weight. The gross and the steers and the drives. So this is with full fuel. I'm 11,740 pounds on the front, on the steer axle, 54,920 on the three axles behind the sleeper, the drives plus the pusher, and 57,000 on the trailer. So for the total of 123,660 pounds, and my empty weight is 47,420. So which means that this little thing, you'll see a couple of pictures at the end of this video, is just over 76,000 pounds. So I'm driving and I have to use all my axles, but you know, the load pays pretty good, and it only goes just across the border, basically like 5 hours. I loaded and I got up at 5 o'clock this morning because I had to be in just north of Toronto at 8, but dispatch says, you know, make sure you're not late, so shoot for 7:30. So I was there at 6 minutes after 7. Sent the dispatch the email, so they were pretty happy. So I was there like 1 hour before the loading time, and they loaded me. I backed into the building. They loaded me with a big 50-60 ton crane. So basically this thing, it's, you know, like hydraulic press, like big machine that can make parts out of metal sheets, right? So what I have is the foundation. So basically it's the heaviest thing. It's all steel, there's no holes, and it's like 2.5 feet. All that is steel. Can you believe this? Like 2.5 feet by 7.5 by 12. Well, actually by 10, because on the outsides there is some empty spots, but 10 feet by 7.5 by 2.5, that's solid steel, not a single hole anywhere. So I couldn't believe it. I never had such a compact load that weighed so much, you know. But the truck drives okay because it's pretty, you know, straight. Well, there's some hills on 401 as you get to the border. But unfortunately I tried crossing today and there was a couple of mistakes on my electronic manifest, and it was already after 5. And you know, I park over there on the US side and couldn't find anybody at this customs broker office because it was already after 5 p.m. and US Customs kicked me out. You know, they say, well, we are sorry, you know, but you have to go back to Canada, fix your manifest, and then come back. So if you remember, a while ago I had to do it like 3 times, right? They were turning me back. Well, hopefully I'll be able to cross tomorrow. So I just went to I'm sitting at the bridge here. So I went to US, so couldn't do it, came back, had to pay the toll each way. One, it was like $26.75 on the way back. For some reason it was $22.75. You know, some of these clerks, they don't know how to count the axles, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 axles should be $26.75. But the funny thing is that you always have to have Canadian money if you're a Canadian, because the bridge charges the same amount. They don't give you any discount, you know, like for currency exchange. So if it's $26.75, like for your axles for the truck, it's either $26.75 Canadian or $26.75 US. But everybody knows, even if you were like a first grader, that $26.75 US, that's already almost more than 30 bucks Canadian. Right? So nowadays it's much cheaper to pay everything in Canadian dollars. But I was there on the other side, and when they turn me back, you know, and you have to go through the toll booth again, and the lady says, well, you have to pay. And last time they didn't do this to me, right? So I said, well, here's the piece of paper that shows that I didn't even enter US. I was still in the customs compound. I said there was a problem with my paperwork, you know. Why do I have to pay? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You have to pay to use the bridge. It's a bridge toll. So, and I said, well, I have $5 Canadian, maybe $1 in quarters Canadian. I have no US money, but they take both, but cash only. I said, I have a debit card, I have a credit card. And she looks at me and she says, no, we don't take those. And no suggestions, no nothing. So I just turned off the engine, folded my my hands on the top of the wheel, and I just sit still, and I look at the water on the bridge, and people are doing their business, walking around. And then after like 5 minutes, the lady says, okay, we can escort you to the bank machine. All right, so now we're talking. She says, park the truck next to the toll booth, do not leave. I said, I understand, like, I'm not gonna try to skip in a 126,000 pound truck, you know, away from you, like, without paying. Park the truck and somebody will get you. And then like 5 minutes later, after I parked the truck, some lady showed up with the radio, and they escorted me to the building. And she says, we have to go to the duty free. And I know the duty free is like very far, you know, it's like not maybe a mile, but half a mile, basically like a kilometer. And I asked this woman, I said, why, you don't have a bank machine inside the customs office? She says, no. And she brings me back to the customs office where I was before, and she says, and take the elevator, go to the basement, and you'll see a tunnel. Now I feel like I'm in the middle of a big adventure. I said, a tunnel? Are you sure? She says, yeah, there's a tunnel to the duty free. I mean, I can't help but laugh, you know, like, yeah, the life is plays tricks on you, but I never knew there was a tunnel. So basically, they have this elevator, right? It goes only to the second level from the customs, where you know, deal with customs officers over there, and there's an elevator, and it goes up if you deal with the fast office, you know, if you are renewing or getting your fast card, you go there. And I never noticed that there was a button pointing down. So down, where are you going down? Like, you know, all the trucks are parked, we're right there on the same level, like, where do you go down? And that's what this was. So this lady says, go to B, basement, and you'll see a door with a tunnel, and that tunnel will take you out to the street, and the duty free is right basically around the corner there. Okay, so I pushed the B button inside the elevator, and I thought somebody will start shooting now, like, no, the I wanted to say cops, no, the US Customs look at me, didn't say anything. I go down, and the door opens, and right away there's a woman in the uniform, US Customs, and I'm thinking, oh, and then I look at her, and no, her hand is not on a gun, her hand is on a bag of chips. So it turns out they have a parking lot in there, right? And that's where they park their cars. And she says, and I said, excuse me, I'm trying to get to duty free because they told me I have to bring cash. And she said, oh, it's okay, go take that door, and there's a tunnel there. And sure enough, I opened the door, and it's not a tunnel, it's basically, it's like a long hallway, and you get to the street, which I never realized that the street was a lower level than this office, you know, where we sit, like when you enter with your truck, like where the bridge is. This spot is taller, like higher than the actual street below, like the Port Huron. And I'm like, Jesus, you know, so I learned so many interesting geographical things. It was a really enlightening day for Heavy Haul TV and Mr. in general, and Sergei DRATCHEV in particular. So I go to the duty free, and there's a guy there, you know, you're supposed to tell him, like, what the heck are you doing there? Because if you're an American, you cannot buy anything there, right? And I said, sir, I'm just, I screwed up there, I don't have any cash, so they sent me from the bridge. There's a guy at the gate there, at duty free. I said, I just want to use your ATM. I'm not gonna buy anything. And the guy says, oh, our ATM is down. Geez, what I'm gonna do now? And he says, well, there's a bank machine. He says, you see McDonald's on the other side? There's BP gas station. Go there. And finally, I go there, and he has like $2.50 bank machine fee. I get that, and the lady says at the gas station, she says, are you just buying gas? because she thought I wanted to pay with cash. And I said, no, I'm from the bridge trying to cross, I need to pay the toll. And she said, oh, you're the third person today. You know, because those people, they should take credit cards, right? Like everybody takes credit cards. Like in Windsor, for example, when you cross, you can pay with a credit card, no problem. Like, but some crossings like this one, Blue Water Bridge, Port Huron or Sarnia, cash only, you know. And so I got the money, walked back to my truck. Nobody stopped me. We used the same elevator, went through the same secret tunnel before that, and got into my truck and drove back to the Canadian side. And I, you know, showed them the paper that US guys gave me. I said, yeah, I didn't even left US compound. There was a problem with my ACE. I have to wait till morning. And the guy says, okay. And he took that piece of paper, gave me back my passport. And so now I'm back in Canada. So stay tuned for more adventures with this foundation for the hydraulic press. Thanks for watching.